All right, so let's talk about writing about planning. That question that says to you, in your instructional context, you identified your students' characteristics, right? You just described them. Now you're in your actual writing about planning, and they throw in the word how. How did you use that detailed knowledge that you described over on the forms? You know, their backgrounds, their needs, their abilities, their interests, instructional challenges. How did you use that in your planning choices of strategies? So is it like a National Board Certified Teacher doesn't just say, oh, that was next in the teacher's guide, or that's what our scripted curriculum told us to do. The National Board Certified Teacher looks at the student. The child is in the center of the universe when it comes to our teaching. And we're looking at them and we're developing lessons that they need from all of the things we know about them. So what are the instructional challenges represented by your students? Now, I'm going to show you something. I host a think tank that is part of my course. I have a course for C3, and these are two of the worksheets. I've just snipped them and made them smaller here. But people come into my think tank every other week, and then we talk out loud about things that they're not understanding in C3. So that's where this has come from. And it was so good, I could not share it with everybody else. So that's why I'm sharing it with you now. So one of my world languages teachers said to me, you know, Tracey, I'm really kind of confused about the instructional challenges piece. You know, I understand the reflective writing because I also teach my candidates the three different styles of writing and how to make sure they get points using them. But the instructional challenge piece was really difficult to understand. So she said she's got her kids' needs, she's got her kids' abilities. And so in the instructional challenges piece, connected to the goals now, she said one of the instructional challenges is she has students that are shy. All right. Now I said to her, no. That's not instructional challenges. No. That's probably like the need. That's the opposite end of the need. So if a child is shy, then the child needs more confidence speaking orally in the target language. Because again, I'm speaking about world language right now, even though all of you have this very similar thing in C3. So she was like, oh yeah. So I'm just putting these things that I see as negatives inside of the instructional challenge instead of looking at them and saying, wow, you know, my students need more opportunities to become confident speakers of Spanish in the Spanish 2 classroom. And that is because they may be shy or not, you know, have that confidence. But the instructional challenges are very different. So I asked her to head over to her rubric because, you know, we want to lead with the rubric because that's what the assessor is scoring. They're trying to find evidence to the rubric. And I said, go over to your rubric. And on that rubric, she found two very specific pieces that we looked at together. Well, the entire group in the think tank looked at, and we started to think, what would the assessor want to see in these boxes? So one of them says that the teacher supports all students in developing the proficiencies necessary to advance their speaking, listening, reading, and writing abilities in the target language so that they can engage in meaningful and culturally appropriate communication. Oh, so now we think about instructional challenges, and now we think, what are my instructional challenges around meaningful and culturally appropriate communication? Now, what are my students' challenges, needs, abilities around speaking, listening, reading, and writing in the target language? So now instead of us talking about behaviors, so to speak, or social emotional stuff that's really outward and it's just kind of surface. Now we can see deeper to what the assessor's looking for. The assessor's looking for evidence that you are recognizing that. She also found the rubric bullet point that the teacher draws on detailed knowledge of students' backgrounds, needs, abilities, and interests, and on his or her own knowledge of world language learning in selecting high, worthwhile, and attainable goals, and in selecting instructional approaches and instructional resources that support these goals. So that's where this second page that you're seeing here came from. She realized, oh, what I'm figuring out about the goals they need and their needs and their abilities and the instructional challenges have to connect hand in glove to the resources that I'm using. It can't just be because that's what I've always done and that's what the state tells me I have to do, or it's in my teacher workbook or textbook, whatever. It has to lead by the student. Everything has to cycle back to the student. And so the power then is really in seeing exactly what it is that you know right now about your students and determining is what you know very surface oriented, or is what you know deeper, yet you're really not making connections. It's there. It's like clear for the assessor that it's there. That's a 2. Clear is a 2. But is it clear and concise? Okay, that's approaching the 3. Convincing is approaching the 4. So it's got to be like the alignment has got to be so incredibly tight for you. So when it comes to you trying to talk again about your students' needs, challenges, abilities, and instructional challenges, remember, you're analyzing here. You're not describing again. The question word was how. It wasn't what. It was what on the form. Don't describe again. Analyze it. Connect it to your resources or whatever the question is after that. Okay? All right. If you want more information about what I do, come over to TraceyBryantStuckey.com. Bye now.